I'm back. What do you know? I did make a video for this week. So I want to keep this one short, but I'm going to keep it like useful. Let's talk about a formula for good ideas. And what I mean by that is a formula for evaluating ideas. Is it likely to be any good? Does it pass like the most basic test? Um, this is this is really just kind of for you to kind of get an idea of where you're going with something, but it can also give you a direction. So I'm just going to share this. It's something I've used for a long time. I don't know whether I thought of it or if someone told it to me and I've been using it ever since. I can't remember. Anyway, let's get started. What you got to have is a chart like this one. Okay, so you just need a 9 cell table, I guess is what this is called. I hate Excel, so I don't really know what to tell you there. But so you need the chart, and on the top, what you're going to do is you're going to put your word stuff. That's the copy stuff. So you need unexpected words and expected words. Okay. And then on the side over here, you're going to put the visual stuff, unexpected visuals, expected visuals. You see where I'm going here? Special note, radio is kind of the stepchild of all this. So if you really want to use this for radio, on the top, just use the words, and on the left column, use the music and the special effects or something, okay? So I'm not going to go off on that tangent too much longer. But if you use this table for your general ads, you're going to find that you kind of come out with a criteria for them. And here's what I mean. So let's start with this. So you evaluate, and if your idea contains unexpected words and unexpected visuals, you're really asking the consumer to do a whole lot of stuff, and that's really confusing. Okay, you don't generally want to confuse consumers, but that doesn't mean that you can't succeed. As a matter of fact, there are examples of ads that are confusing that seem to work. Cologne and perfume ads being the chief among them. I don't know what Johnny Depp playing a guitar in the desert with a puma has to do with how I smell, but I guess it must be good because Sauvage or whatever it's called, the French, I don't speak French, but that seems to sell okay, I guess. I don't know. Note that this isn't fashion because fashion has almost always got an expected visual in that it's going to show the fashion. I mean, that's the point. And I guess cologne and perfume ads kind of get there, but sometimes no. I don't know. They just always seem a little confusing to me, but they're almost their own category, their own niche at this point. Um, Moving on, if your idea contains expected words and unexpected visuals, in other words, the words I'm expecting to see, but the visuals are not, what you're doing is surprising people. Um, they want to know more. If they read, they're like, wait a second, that hang on, and they want the payoff. Surprising people is a good thing because it stops the brain, it stops the scroll. Okay, you can hear the brakes applied, right? It's that moment. And there's lots of examples, but a good example would be the Volvo ads during the Dave Trott era. Dave Trott, if you haven't ever read anything of Dave Trott's, you should, regardless of whether you're in the visual side or in the copy side. His blog was really good and it's still around, and if it's not, I'm certain it's on the Wayback Machine. But anyway, yeah, just surprise people. You can give them, hey, we have a safe car, and then suspend the car above a guy. That no one's expecting you to, suspend a car above a guy, right? Just think about that for a minute and think about what it does to a consumer's mind when they see it, right? All right, moving on. If your idea contains unexpected words, but the visuals are expected, what you're doing is intriguing the consumer, okay? That mismatch between the two triggers that brain to want to make sense of it, okay? So it's basically a short circuit, if you know what I mean. Um, a good example of that, I think, if you look back in the days, is the original Volkswagen ads for the VW Beetle. The one that comes immediately to mind is the lemon ad. Okay, so if you got a car ad, you're expecting to see the car. Okay, well that ad shows you the car, but you're not expecting the manufacturer of a car to label their car a lemon, which is negative. But if you dig into it, you're like, wait a second, what? This doesn't make sense. Well, what they're saying is that the car that you're seeing, even though it looks like a normal Volkswagen, didn't pass their rigorous standards or whatever. So it works really, really well. And intriguing ads are often, I think, the most memorable. This is, of course, separate from funny. Funny is almost always memorable, but you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, moving on. Last cell here. If your idea contains expected words and expected visuals, it's boring. Okay, it's boring. Uh, it's very, very dangerous to do this because you risk becoming noise. It's really hard to get people to pay attention But what you're doing there is you're really leaning really hard on context. And I'll give you an example. Coupons are boring. Think about it. I expect to see the design elements of the dotted line. I expect to see $5 off or whatever. Discounts and sales work the same way. Heck, personal injury lawyers and the interstate billboards. Those are really, really expected. You expect to see them there, but it'd almost be weird if you didn't, you know? So they may be boring, but maybe there's a comfort zone there that you can take advantage of. Now, a few notes and tips here. Like I said, confusing and boring can work. Obviously, there are still cologne and perfume companies that have been around forever doing the same stuff. And obviously, coupons are still something that people look at, sales, that kind of thing. But you do depend a lot more on either the value or the context or other things you can't really control. Sometimes you can lean on your brand, identity really hard, but you got to be careful with this stuff, okay? So make sure that you're using these at the right time, okay? And as far as intriguing and surprising, these can still fail, okay? If you go over people's heads, or you insult their intelligence, or you get too cute or whatever, you're not gonna get them, okay? So don't be obtuse. Don't insult someone's intelligence. Being clever, perfectly fine. People like clever because it makes them feel clever when they figure it out. But don't be self-important. Don't be, highfalutin or whatever you want to call it. Don't be full of yourself, right? Okay, right. All right. You can do this. I believe in you. I'm one of you, so obviously, hey, we can all do this. Let's go to the channel update real quick. I'm sorry I rushed this. I didn't think I was going to be able to post this week, but I wanted to get one out to you guys, or you guy, or you girl, or whatever, however many individuals are watching this. I appreciate you. Put something in the comments. Anything. Don't care. Be mean. It doesn't bother me any. It's still hot out here in the city, so send winter if you would. The fleas are melting. They're just they're not really melting, but they're hot. Okay, the freezer around the corner from us is now kind of like a private swimming pool because the ice will not stay cold. So we get a free swimming pool out of it. We don't have to pay. It's great. I remember the YMCA. Don't want to go there, but it is what it is. For now, I'm copywriter and I'm out of here. I'll see you next week. I think probably maybe. I put that sidewalk pizza in. Oh, yeah, Frank's Red Hot. That goes pretty good on a slice of sidewalk pizza, not gonna lie.